Hello, everybody, and welcome to your online secondary Drafting 10 course. My name is Brennan Dunbar, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you this semester. The purpose of this video is just going to give you a little introduction to the class and introduce you to our Blackboard virtual classroom, which is where you're going to get all of your learning materials. It's where you're going to get your assignments. It's where you're going to submit your assignments, and it's where we're going to do all of our live sessions. So without further ado, I'm just going to take you through a bit more about the course and online learning. Okay, so first things first, just sort of a general little list here of expectations and recommendations when it comes to online learning. I've been teaching online for the last several years, and I've learned a lot in the process, and I've learned a lot from my students who I ask for feedback quite regularly, and these are sort of lessons that they have passed to me to pass on to future generations of students. Just some of the general things. We're going to be using the Blackboard system. It's basically a learning system that's online. You're going to have a virtual classroom for Drafting 10, and you're going to get all your learning materials there and any instructions that you need in order to work through the materials of the class. We're going to be using a digital textbook for all assignment drawings and anything that you need with regard to tutorial videos and paper, not paper, but Word document files, PDFs, things like that. That's all going to be on the learning management system, but we're largely going to use a PDF of a digital textbook that we've created in order to take you through the basics of AutoCAD or LibreCAD in this case, and the drawings that we're going to be doing. So there's no additional textbook for the classroom. You do not have to pick one up at a physical building. There's going to be tutorial lessons, usually in video form, for each learning area of the course. And in addition to those, we're going to be meeting a couple times a week in a live learning session where I will be giving some tutorials and modeling things for you, maybe expanding upon concepts, and of course answering any questions that you have and trying to help you through the material. In this class, students have told me that independent problem solving is very important. I'm always here for support and help, and I do want to help you move through the material. But students have also reported that when they go to the internet, Google forums on AutoCAD and LibreCAD, things like that, to solve problems, they tend to retain it better and are more able to use it in future assignments. So I do definitely encourage independent problem solving in this course, but I also don't want you to get frustrated. So please do feel free to email me or ask questions at live session, and I'm happy to help you out. So here's some things that students have mentioned to me. Ask questions early and often. You definitely don't want to fall behind in this course. There are a lot of drawings to complete and a lot of areas of study that we're going to go through. So if you're struggling with any of the early assignments, don't hesitate to email me, ask for help, let me help you move forward, and you'll find it's easier to move on to the next unit and so on and so forth. Complete the exercises, quizzes, any hand-ins that we have. We're probably not going to have formal exams. It's more about completing drawings and submitting drawings. Make sure that you do complete those on time and get them into me on time so that I can give you feedback, and that feedback is going to help you continually improve your school skills and fix mistakes as you move forward. If you're taking this as a semestered class, the time requirements are very similar to what you would see in a physical school, typically 1 hour a day. Should be set aside for your drafting work. And if you're taking it in a quarterly version, then you're looking at roughly doubling, so to 2.5 hours a day, that sort of thing, which is 10 hours a week, 10 to 15 hours a week. Set a daily routine and stick to it. Students tend to report more success in online courses when they make themselves a little schedule for home. And stick to it. So, if 9 to 10 is going to be your drafting time, try to be consistent and do that every day. Wherever you're completing your work from, do your best to try to find a place that's quiet, a quiet study area where there's minimum distractions. And do take some study breaks every once in a while to sort of recharge your brain and give your eyes a rest. When we're staring at a computer for long periods of time, you can develop eye strain, get headaches, and that sort of thing. So we want to be cognizant of that, and then just pick some micro goals for the course, in the next week or month or for the entire course, and try to keep that in the forefront of your mind as you move forward. What's my goal in this class? Is my goal a certain grade, a certain mark? Is my goal to learn some certain skills or to or create something. If you keep that sort of as the forefront, students find that they're more motivated and more able to move forward with their learning. All right, so that's just sort of the general recommendations with regard to an online class, and Drafting 10 will work in a very similar manner to any other online classes that you've seen. If you're new to online learning, that's no problem. We have tutorial sessions and videos set up to help you through navigating our virtual classroom and just kind of familiarizing yourself with the system and where to find learning materials and where to go for live sessions and how to hand things in. So those resources are always available. But again, if you have any questions, I certainly encourage you to contact me. So the nature of drafting has changed a lot over the last 30 years or so. Drafting in times past was typically done on large pieces of paper, blueprints, using pencils and pens and rulers and T-squares and all sorts of other drawing instruments. But like in most other industries, we now have technology that allows us to do it much more accurately and much more efficiently in a digital platform. So that's the way we're going to be moving in our class as well. We will do some manual sketching, but we're going to focus most of our time on a couple of key pieces of software that are going to help you learn the skills that you need to learn for using these digital platforms, which is what you're going to see in industry and any post-secondary education that you do. And for the industry, the leader has typically been AutoCAD. It's made by a company called Autodesk, and they make AutoCAD and Inventor and Fusion and all sorts of other programs that allow people to model things and create blueprints for things in both 2D and 3D forms. The downside with AutoCAD is that it's a very expensive program. Oftentimes in industry, a single license on a single computer can cost upwards of $3,000. So that's obviously not something that we would expect students to have on their home computers. Luckily, AutoCAD has relatively recently introduced a web-based version of their software, and it is currently free, and I hope it continues to be free because, again, AutoCAD is the industry standard, so learning on this piece of software will definitely help you as you move forward into either post-secondary or if you go into the industry and decide on a career in some sort of modeling or design or technical drafting a business. So we're going to use the AutoCAD web version, which means that you don't have to download the software to your computer. You don't have to pay for it. And it's got about 90%, I'd say, of the tools that I would normally use in the class. And for the 10% that it doesn't have, I've got some little cheats and workarounds that we can use to accomplish the same goals. And it is important that I think that you have either a laptop or a desktop computer for this class, as it's just too hard to draft things accurately and more importantly efficiently, quickly, using a tablet or a phone. I mean, technically it's possible, but I've tried some of the apps and they're just not very good. It's the sort of thing that is done on computers. Because it's web-based, it doesn't really matter if you've got a Chromebook or a Mac or a Linux machine or Windows machine. As long as you've got a relatively recent browser, so a newer version of Chrome or Microsoft Edge or Safari or something like that, Firefox, you will be able to access and run all of the tools in the website and the storage facility and whatnot. It does allow you to save your drawings online, which is good because you'll have backups in the cloud. It also allows you to download them, which is also really important in this class because you will be submitting your files through the Blackboard system, so you're going to need to be able to download the files and upload them to our class website. I think it accomplishes all of the goals that we're going to have for the class, and again, we may have to tinker a little bit here and there to make up for some of the tools that are missing from the full version. You can submit your drawings in this class in other pieces of software if you want, as long as the final drawings that I get on the website are in a format that can be opened with AutoCAD. So there's another free program called LibreCAD, which I was also contemplating using. If you prefer that, that's fine as well. AutoCAD or Autodesk does offer their full version to students for 3 years, I believe it is, and it is a good piece of software. So if it's something that you're interested in tinkering around with in your in your spare time, I would encourage you to go to the Autodesk website and sign up for an education account and get the full version on your computer. I'll just let you know ahead of time that the full version is quite a large download and install. It's I think it's a couple of gigabytes, so it's very heavy software, but it's also the full version that you would see in industry. So if you're interested in stuff like this, it might be worth your time to go get that free student account. For the AutoCAD web version, you will need to sign up for an account at AutoCAD, and I've got instructions and a tutorial video on how to do that you're going to do a little bit later in the course. For our three-dimensional part modeling, I picked actually a web-based service, and it's called Onshape. And Onshape is Onshape is a three-dimensional parametric modeler. It's quite powerful. It's actually a pretty impressive piece of software that you can find online. Usually, software of this type is dedicated to software that you have to download and install on your machine, and it's quite large and memory intensive. So I've been pretty happy with Onshape so far. It does have similar features to Inventor and other 3D modeling software that's used in industry. It's not quite as powerful, and some of the commands are different, but it's a very, very good introduction to three-dimensional design and part design and mechanical engineering. So those are the two pieces of software that I've chosen. The LibreCAD is a download again and an install. Onshape is an online web-based service, and you will need to sign in as a student, and I will have instructions on how you create an account, and obviously we're going to have tutorials on how you create drawings and save drawings and work with your 3D model designs. So that's sort of the technical aspect of the course. With regard to where is everything and how do I navigate, this is our Blackboard classroom right here, Drafting 10, and there is a menu on the left side, and your menu is going to look a little different than mine because I'm a teacher. So I'll just enter into student preview, and it should simplify the menus a little bit. As you start the class, always go to the start here. No matter what online class you're taking, you're going to have a start here section, and it's just going to give you a little welcoming, and it's also going to give an option for a Blackboard orientation. It's not very long; it's about 30 minutes. But if you've never used the Blackboard learning system before, and maybe this is your first time learning online, or you used Google Classrooms when the last time you learned online, you're going to want to do that 30-minute little introduction so that you can see how to navigate and how to where things are located, and it's going to be helpful. Another thing I've got on there is a pacing calendar, which is going to be very important for you. Now, I haven't created the pacing calendar for this semester yet because we don't have the dates, but this is just an example of something that you would have seen if you had taken a math class with me. It's just got the days of the week, and it's got different color coding to indicate whether or not it's a live session or a drop-in help session in blue, or independent work periods. It's also got any hand-ins or quizzes noted, what days they're due, what day you should be working on them. So it's a really good, the students really like to print this off in general and keep it beside their computer or tape it to the wall or something, just to use it as a checklist to make sure that you're moving through the material and handing things in on time. Because if you can get your material to me on time, I can assess it, I can give you feedback, get it right back to you, and then you can use that feedback moving forward. Again, students overwhelmingly tell me in this course that it's very doable, and you can get a very good grade if you just do what you're supposed to do every day. But if you fall behind, weeks, months, etc., obviously you're not going to be able to meet your goals. And I'm always here to help. So just let me know if you're struggling with anything, and I certainly will help you through it. There's a course outline on this in PDF form. Most of the documents that you'll have for download are in PDF form, so you can open them on any device. This is just another link to the orientation module. And then I've also got a quick technology tips section at the bottom. There's not much in there right now, but if I find little tips and tricks that I think will help you, just general computer stuff, I'll throw them in there. So that's the Start Here page. You really only need to go there once at the beginning of the course. And after a while, I'll shift it so that our homepage for the course is the announcements page. So when you log in every day, just have a quick look at the announcements page. There won't always be something in there, but it's going to be your launching point for the class. And if there is an announcement, please make sure you read it. There is a section dedicated to installing the required software. So I mentioned LibreCAD, just showed you a little example of it. And this is where you're going to find downloads for Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever type of machine you have. And then also some little video tutorials to show you what it looks like when you search for LibreCAD, when you download the file, when you try to install it, just to help you through that. And then it says installing on Shape 3D Modeler, but it's not really an install. It's going to be instructions on how you sign up for a student account and how I find your material so that you can share your hand-ins with me. And then after that, inside of the navigation menu, this is just all of our units from the beginning of the course to the end of the course. Unit 1 is sort of general introduction material. Unit 2, we're going to be working with LibreCAD, doing 2D drawings, and then things that you may not have heard about before, or terms that are unfamiliar, but you will learn about them: orthographic views, sectional views, dimensioning, oblique, isometric, and then we're going to work with 3D part modeling. What you don't see in here right now is a section called My Marks. As soon as we get some assignments in there and there's something to mark, you're going to see a section called My Marks, and that's where you can look at any of your assignments that you have submitted. It has a record of what you handed in, when you handed it in. When I grade something and give you feedback, you'll be able to see your grade, you'll be able to see any of the feedback I gave you and help you move forward. So the navigation of the online classroom is relatively simple, as long as you just kind of know where to click and how to keep moving forward. One more thing that will be in this menu that isn't there yet is there's going to be a little link for our live session room. It's not specifically a Zoom room, but it's very similar. It's built right into our class website and allows you to use a webcam. There's a chat feature, there's microphone, and I can share my screen with anybody when I'm doing a tutorial. All right, so I think this introductory video is 15 minutes. That's about long enough. And I'm really looking forward to working with you in this course. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me via email or in the live sessions if you have any questions, if there's anything that I can help you work through. I love drafting. I've been teaching drafting for 15 years, and it's definitely one of my favorite courses. So I do have passion in this area, and I hope that by taking this course, some of you develop that passion as well, and maybe choose to pursue it at a more professional level, moving into engineering or architecture or CAD design, technical design, things like that. So take care of yourselves, and I look forward to working with you.